good music, you can't stop it. No matter what. If you got good music, if you got the songs, it's gonna eat right through all that bullshit like acid, and that shit is gonna shine. This is the music business, you know what I mean? It's not about nothing else but your music. Mobb Deep, our story is unique. It's just all our experiences that we've been through. It's not normal.
You have to paint a picture for somebody to actually see it. Taking experiences that was happening, around me at the time. Dudes getting robbed, shot, you know what I'm saying? Selling little drugs here and there, drinking.
New York is the Empire State. This is the front line. You oversaturated in this one little area. That's what makes New York so crazy. New York will force the best to come out of you or force you to fold up.
There's New York, there's New York City, there's Queens, there's Queensbridge, and then there's the sides of Queensbridge.
Queensbridge, is the biggest projects in America, in the world. It's bound to just be the cradle of creativity.
If you're a hip-hop fan, you're ultimately gonna go back to Queensbridge.
The thing that I had as a plus on my side was actually being from Queensbridge. There was a history of MCs coming out of that one project. The ratio of MCs that came out of there compared to New York City was just like ridiculous.
You think like it's some playground where there's like at the daycare you're learning how to drop 64 bars.
Just for some reason, the rappers that come out of there are just so ill. It's just a long list of MCs that represent Queensbridge.
Me and P met back in 1989.
Yeah, me and had met at the High School of Art and Design in Manhattan.
I used to see P around in the hallways, you know what I'm saying? And he used to have on, the truck jewelry and all that. But back then he was called the Golden Child, you know what I'm saying? Because he had the high flat top. It was crazy. He was like an interesting figure. Come to find out, we both had the same interest in rhyming.
I heard it was his rhyme style. We started hanging out. He took me to his neighborhood. I took him around my way and we started getting real cool. We started making demo songs together while we were in school. We used to cut out and go to Coney Island to the studio we would use in Brooklyn. We made maybe 50 to 60 songs, real quick.
Like the way that we clicked, you know what I'm saying? It was like a no-brainer, like, yo, we might as well just make a group.
I had a demo deal. I was signed to Jive Records at the time.
I went with Prodigy up to Jive Records. They gave him a little room set up and all of that.
They wasn't interested in dealing with me and Av. They just wanted me, so I was like, yo, listen, I'm out of here. I walked away from that deal. Start over.
We just took all the necessary steps we felt that we needed to take to get a record deal.
Go around to the labels, and one of our favorite labels was Def Jam. It was the biggest and best label at that time. We would stand outside in front of Def Jam because we couldn't go in, and we just wait to see artists come out.
I remember hearing Havoc tell the story that when they were outside hustling a demo, Q-Tip came out of Def Jam, was the only rapper that, that they recognized, who was like, yeah, I'll listen to your tape.
Boom, Q-Tip, and now we inside of Rush Management.
We started going to all the industry parties. We started getting invited out.
And everybody's like, oh, yo, these little dudes is dope, you know what I'm saying?
We started knowing a lot of people in the music industry. We started meeting a lot of people. We had met this dude named Matty C. So we played our demo for Matty.
They came, must have been at least 10, 15 deep into the Source offices, sat down, played a couple of songs. I was stuck immediately. I remember lines from the first demo they played me. P had a line that said, baby grand poobah, little Rick the ruler, and in my pocket is a crazy fat bag of Buddha.
Matty basically had some connections over there at 4th and Broadway.
Next thing you know, we on 4th and Broadway. Cool. We was mad young. People just threw us around lawyers, accountants, and was telling us what to do. And
well, unfortunately, there's always this constant conflict between the creative side and the business side.
we didn't know. We thought that that was what, you know, what you do when you get a record company. Oh, you go over here, you do that. You try to make this kind of record and to please them. And, you know, we kids, so we did it.
When we was working on Juvenile Hell, we didn't master our sound yet. The things that were on our mind were the childish things, you know what I mean? Money, sex, drugs, just having fun and wanting to be a celebrity without knowing what it takes to really accomplish that goal and keep it.
Their first album, Juvenile Hell, it didn't really resonate with fans too much. Unless you were a really, really deep hip-hop fan, it came and went, and you might not have known.
I can tell you that in my hood, I kind of felt that kind of like pushback, because they seen that we came out with, you know, Juvenile Hell, it ain't work. And you know, people like to look at you and be like, like, yeah, shit, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're trying to rap or whatever. Tell me how that feel, you know what I'm saying? That's like going to school with holes in your shoes, you know what I'm saying? And everybody like, look at you, you know, and you just was wearing Gucci's last week, you know what I'm saying?
So we got dropped and reality hit us like a ton of bricks.
Record tanks, you know what I'm saying? Record don't do nothing. Now backs is against the wall.
It didn't feel like the party was over. It felt like we got kicked out the party, and now we got to fight to get back in this motherfucker. At that time, we were trying to prove ourselves to the world because we had just gotten dropped. We just put out a flop album called Juvenile Hell when we was only like 16 years old at the time. My mind wasn't there all the way.
I was sitting in the projects in my mom's crib, 4115, apartment 3A. Mad 40 bottles everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And just like, let's do something more.
Mentally, we were in a place where we was like, yo, man, we got to get it together, man. This is what we want to do with our life.
Next thing you know, Matty C and Scott Free, you know what I'm saying? They started some label with Steve Rifkin.
Loud Records, which was Steve Rifkin's sort of upstart label at the time. The A&Rs were Matt Life and Scott Free, who were editors at The Source.
We got the opportunity to work at Loud Records. We were facilitators, man, like we were bridging gaps at the time.
They were known for just not being jaded, not really, but they were just about the music.
So we went in, started making new songs, and we brought it back to Matty. Like, yo, check our new shit out.
From the day I heard the demo, I was just happy to have the opportunity to be a part of that next real movement in classic hip-hop.
Yeah, first of all, who gives these two kids a second chance? Nobody gets a second chance. But they could hear something.
And they brought us in the office.
It was just really a cubicle inside of the RCA building.
They was like gung-ho about the whole thing the whole time, you know what I'm saying? So everything just was perfect. We had free range to do anything that we wanted, like musically, you know what I mean? And that was the basis of us signing to Loud Records, is that they was like, yo, just here, take this money, go in the studio, do whatever you want.
That's true, man. You know, Mobb got their money and got the ability to make the record that they wanted.
They switched labels, they joined Loud, and it actually went the opposite of most artists. They kind of polish up, but moving to Loud actually unpolished Mobb Deep.
I just said, let's just do us. We can't go wrong with that.
We were trying to show the world, you know, what we could bring to the table and how we were different than anything else that was out there.
I was basically like screaming at life, just venting.
I feel like Mobb Deep was always the guys that were actually sitting on the bench in the courtyard in Queensbridge, sort of living that lifestyle hand to hand.
Killer B, that's Havoc's brother. Rest in peace.
He was 1 year younger than me, you know what I'm saying? He was like the wild one, holding it down and shooting and doing this, that, and the third. And, you know, he passed away, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, too early.
this is not just the fun parts of dark street thug life. This is like the ugly parts of it too. There was lots of paranoia and deep depression.
I just found myself finding samples that was dark, you know, and I was just more compelled to those. It was an intense feeling in the music that I was trying to make.
Hab's gonna make a dark beat, cause you know he's not thinking no happy thoughts in his head. You know what I'm saying? The lyrics is gonna be dark for the same reason.
They got more gritty on The Infamous, and it also matched with Loud's sort of invention of the street team.
There was a different way to promote it through hip-hop's already built-in culture of graffiti.
It was like vandalism, if you were from the outside.
Where there'd be stickers and signs, posters, vans that were wrapped with their logo.
Or you go to a club and it'd be like Mobb Deep stickers thrown all over the floor.
If you see it on the street, then you're that much closer to it than if you see it on TV. Nobody wants that. They want word of mouth. And I think that really helped Mobb Deep build their sort of mystique.
We were fortunate enough to have, experience and resources that were able to enhance their vision.
So we took control of our own project, and that was, throwing the dice. That was rolling the dice right there.
Oh man, it's do or die. You either do this or you go home and get a job at Verizon. Nah, it's not an option.
Our backs was against the wall. It was like now or never. It was like do or die. If this don't do nothing, then we could just fucking pack it up. By the time Infamous came, our mind was like, yo, it's either do or die.
And our mind is always thinking back to the time where Juvenile Hell didn't work. And we can't let that happen again. We had to come out swinging.
That year that The Infamous came out was sort of a turning point for the East Coast hip-hop scene.
Before The Infamous came out in 93, 94, the New York scene was kind of getting its footing again. Before that, the West Coast was getting a lot of traction with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg.
So New York was kind of feeling like the walls was closing in on us. We need something to kind of go against Snoop, because Snoop and Dre is basically, if this keeps going, they're going to forget about us.
If you were from the East Coast, if you were from New York, where everybody was very tried and true and proud of being the birthplace of hip-hop, there was a little bit of unrest.
When we saw Snoop and the Dog Pound in the video, and they were kicking over like our buildings in Queens and stomping through New York, we looking at the video like it was kind of disrespectful, like in a way.
Oh yeah, we was going in. We was going in. We was like, yeah, word. Oh, we making a record today. You know what I'm saying? Niggas saying, fuck Mobb Deep. All right, cool, check it. Here we go.
I heard the Mobb Deep joint. It was just street anthem after street anthem, man. It kind of confirmed that New York, like underground hip hop was about to explode.
I think it reclaimed New York as the hub of hip hop.
It was Mobb Deep reasserting themselves.
There was a sense of like, bam, we just got our flag back in the sand.
For that year, to see Mobb Deep kind of take it back in a very aggressive way was also very refreshing.
It made New York people believe in New York again.
When you listen to it now, you know how influential it was then.
As a body of work, Mobb Deep's Infamous, it's a classic album.
The first track that I heard off of The Infamous was Like Many Shook Ones Part 2.
Hold up, son, word.
Yeah, to all the killers and the $100 billers.
The Shook Ones drop, yeah, it would set a precedent in hip hop.
It was scary and it was dark, but it was also exhilarating and it was deeply seductive, all at the same time.
I stuck with the rhythms. We be the infamous, the murder bus, official Queensbridge murderers. The mob comes and quick, move up there, beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all of us. Who wanna profile and pose, rock you in your face, snap your brain with your nose bone.
This is music that was perfect for MCs to rhyme so aggressively, to really just talk about the dark realities of the time.
It's one of the creepiest, darkest, I'm gonna stab everybody in the face right now beats to a record ever.
Definitely an aggressive record. Definitely get some shit started. Yeah. Definitely get some shit started.
I'm gonna tell you straight up and down, radio did not jump right on that right away. The street did, so then it made radio feel like we might be behind the ball a little bit. We need to jump on it.
I don't really remember hearing the songs off the Infamous on the radio because I just remember experiencing them in the clubs. And the way that you knew that a song was a bona fide hit that way was not through radio spins, but by the number of fights that would break out as soon as those first beats came on. Literally, it would just be mass hysteria, like chaos. And that was definitely Mobb.
This is something that I've never heard before.
You gotta respect talent. These brothers are super talented, man. Super.
After Shook Ones came out and we had somewhat of a certain level of success, you know, of course we got to put out another song.
Once they had that momentum going and then it's doubled up and it just kept going.
Boom, drop Survival.
On outside, no man's safe from. Run, but you can't hide forever. From these streets that we done took. I mean, that verse, it's got to go in the museum of hip-hop verses.
Like Shook Ones was dark, but Survival of the Fittest is even darker than that.
It was like the music that didn't represent the kingpin. It represented the often forgotten lower middle class hustler.
Hip-hop is the sound of the struggle, and we all understand struggle.
I think that that's what resonated with, you know, fans universally because everybody has that dark place.
Certain songs make the listener feel like I can be that, or that's me they talking about.
I was mostly looking to see what their world was like.
It's real life stories, man. You can hear it's sincere, it's nothing phony about it, you know what I mean? It's nothing exaggerated about it, none of that. It's just all just real life stories, man.
We're talking gritty, robbery, super street corner, you know. There's only a few people who've had albums like that.
It was probably one of maybe 5 records, I think, were like game changers.
It made a lot of other rappers change their thought of what hardcore rap was.
I have always wanted to make an album that sounded like that.
I was just happy to complete the record, get some spins, and just get a little notoriety out of it. But the ultimate would be it lasting as long as it did. I remember Loud throwing like some special event at some paintball games that we had. It was us, Mobb Deep, Wu-Tang against the Loud staff and some radio people, and we was just shooting paintballs. We was going crazy in the forest. Then we had a dinner afterwards, and they presented us with a gold plaque. My first gold plaque in my whole life. Like, tears wanted to come out my eyes. I was like, word? I was like, niggas went gold. I was like, get the fuck out of here. How do you go from selling like 80 negative records to 500,000? You know what I'm saying? It's like mission accomplished.
I know how to get there, but I can take the long way though. I don't know.
Nah, just jump on the Van Wyck, that's all. And then take that to the Grand Central.
Oh no! Right,
and get off the exit right before the Triborough Bridge.
All right, I thought there was another way.
Right now we rolling the Queensbridge, you know what I'm saying? 41st side preferably.
That shit is his own animal out there. The Infamous is definitely that soundtrack. You know know what I mean, to our youth. When we was growing up, the soundtrack to Queensbridge.
This is it. This is my block right here.
Queens is our home, man. This is where it all started for us, you know what I mean? So it's only right that we here and doing what we gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Get back that love and just keep the formula going.
This is where it all started at. We got the most successful rappers in the game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you put all the rappers together from Queens, we sold the most records in hip hop. You know what I mean?
This music had longevity, that had a long shelf life. Like, you're gonna go back 20 years from now, you're still gonna be bumping Shook Ones Part 2. The Infamous is one of those records that still, it sticks around.
I always was a person that dreamed big, and I knew one day we would be sitting talking about our Infamous album 10 years later, because that's something that I always thought about even then. We have a foundation, you know, we have fans that love what we do.
We got the EP out right now, it just dropped. It's called Black Cocaine. It's a warm-up project, you know, just to get the people ready for the Mobb Deep album, which is called Mobb Deep.
We kept the same work ethic. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mobb Deep, for whatever reason, can still connect back to that original feeling, and I don't know what that is. That's the $64,000 question. It's how did they, not being cliche, keep it real?
I mean, what's interesting about me and Hab is just the longevity of the partnership and the music. That's like the real key point, I think, because a lot of groups, they just don't last, they don't make it. And usually it's from personal feelings or whatever, they couldn't get past whatever issues there was and see the bigger picture.
The way that we was able to survive a lot of the ups and downs and label changes, this, that, and the third, sometimes it's beyond me, you know what I mean? But I could tell you one thing, it wasn't easy. What you here for if you're not here to make classic music? I'm just here to leave something that's gonna be played 40, 30, 50, 60 years from now.
Hold up, son, word.